but how? How can I have it all? How many of you actually have that question? Just be honest here. Just raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you. Okay. Now, let's look at this for a second. We need to understand right now, right? This is your problem. Right now, your choices are limited. And why is your choices limited? It's very simple. Your choices are limited because your knowing is small. When we help you through this weekend, raise your consciousness and you know more, guess what? Your choices become unlimited. And this is when we talk about awakening. What is awakening? What is consciousness? It's all about knowing more, being more aware, being more conscious. And I'd like to share with you something here. Being more conscious is not just saying knowing more. It's also saying being more conscious to knowing how. Right? Knowing more than knowing how. Now, one thing that I always share is one time I was in, if we can zoom in, Nishma. One time I was in Vietnam. Any people, any friends from Vietnam here, by the way? Anybody? Just type in the box if you're from Vietnam. Where from? Ho Chi Minh City? We got a few. What's the names? Saigon. No, that's not the name. That's where they are probably. Huli? Phuc Ly. Okay. Now, so I want you guys to see this. Okay. When I was in Ho Chi Minh City, anybody been to Ho Chi Minh City before? Anybody been to Saigon before? Yes. Okay. Then you probably recognize this. Okay. So when I was in Ho Chi Minh City, I was here. Can somebody tell me what this is? What is this? Anybody recognize? No comments. Has comments broken or internet cut or what's going on? Okay, building. Thank you. These guys, nice, very good. Okay, you guys obviously studied art too. I went to art college. You guys get me here. Okay, so, when I was in Ho Chi Minh City, I was at this building. Those of you who've been to Saigon before, you probably recognize it now. You're like, that building, I remember, right? So this is the Liberty Hotel, beautiful hotel. Now remember, I was at the Liberty Hotel, and in the morning, right, I was on around the 20th floor or something. So one day I'm sitting on the 20th floor, and what I'm doing is I'm overlooking the city. When I'm overlooking the city, so I'm having breakfast with a friend of mine on the top floor. And what we see this. What's this? Somebody tell me, what's this? River, thank you. Okay. Then then what happens is next to the river we have some. What's this? What? What? Next, yeah, no, this is green, please. Okay, so now, no, that's a barrier. Otherwise, people fall in river. You see, so you have the barrier before the grass. So then we had the grass. Okay, grassland. No, not bushes. Grassland. Okay, please, guys, pay attention. Okay, so we had grassland, and then on the grassland, I remember seeing this thing. Right? What's this? Is Nishma not zoomed in? Is that why they can't tell what it is? Okay. So what's this? We've seen this here in the middle of the grassland. Do you know what this is? No, not parallel reality. This is Saigon. What are we talking about? Where are you? You guys are funny. Okay, so this, this is one of those like merry-go-round thing. You know that merry-go-round thing? The little wheel thing, roundabout thing? Roundabout, that thing. What do you call it? Carousel, I don't know. In the park. Yeah, like a children's park, right? So there's a children's park, right? And then there's some children playing there. And then what happened was, when we looked towards the river, we started seeing what? This one you will know. This one, I got A star in art drawing this one. So Yeah, we start seeing boats, right? Now, what happened was, and then what happened, here we have more what? More what? Come on, more what? Thank you. Buildings. Okay, buildings. Then here we had some what? No, not crocodile. Houses. Okay, so now we have. Okay, so here we have some houses. Okay, now along these houses, right, from here to here, I could clearly see there was a what? Highway. Thank you. Now, what happened was on this highway, we seen a what? Obviously, more than a. We seen some. Okay, some were going this way, and this side was going this way. Okay. Well, if you guys have been to Saigon before, you will know there's no real lanes, so they're going every way. You see, they're going around in circles everywhere, right? In and out, right? So this is the highway. Now, I want you to think like this. There is this guy who is sat in this car. So this dot is the guy. Okay, let's give him a body. Okay, here we go, and some hands on steering wheel. Okay, now, so there's this guy. He's on. Could I see the screen? Yeah. So on this body, right? You see, right? Here, there's this guy. I want to ask you guys a question. This guy here, every single day, he drives from work to home, from home to work, from work to home. He works his 9 till 5 every single day. To go home to look after his kids, be with his wife. Then next day, work to home. So he's been doing this the last 20 years. Okay, very common. Okay, this is the common person. Now, I want to ask you this question. This guy here, he sat here right now, driving home from work. I want to ask you this question. What does he see? Can somebody answer that? Can somebody tell me what he sees? Oh, wait there a second. A few other things. There's here there is a, what's this? This is a bike, cyclist. Okay, so cyclist. He sees some bikes here. Okay, so cyclist. Okay, so here's some cyclists. Then here are some more buildings. These are mountains, actually. These mountains, not the Himalayas, something else. Whatever mountains you get to see in Saigon, that's the mountains, okay. So, this guy in here, what does he see? Somebody tell me, please. The car in front of him, the office and home. Nothing. Okay, now, I want you guys to have a look at this a second. Actually, for a lot of you who says he sees the car in front of him, the bicycle, sees the river, sees the park, sees the... Actually, it's not true. For the majority of people who are driving from home to work, how many of you know how to drive? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know how to drive, right? Okay. Now, how many of you ever drove before? You've been driving, and while you're driving, there was a big fragment of it, 20 minutes of it, you were gone. Like, you weren't there. Like, you were somewhere. Like, literally, you were driving, then suddenly you come back. You had that moment of coming back before. It's kind of like a, oh, wait there. Whoa, okay, where am I? Ever had that moment before? Who's had that moment before? You dangerous people. You drive on a highway, not knowing you're driving, for 5 minutes, 20 minutes. No, so some people say, no, it was only 2 minutes. You think that's okay? Most people are not even here now to be able to see the options and choices around them. If you are not here now, that's why I want everybody to stay alert throughout this whole 2 days. Now, it's very difficult, especially when you're at home, you're sitting there, especially some of you sat like this, some of you lying down in bed like this, some of you under the blanket still listening, right? It's very difficult for you to stay alert, but you need to practice focusing now, to stay in the moment now, because the moment, I want you to write this down, this is a very key thing, especially when I talk about opportunity portals later on today. You need to understand every opportunity that will show up for you will only show up now. If you are not here now, you will not be able to grab the opportunity that you have tried to manifest. You're saying, universe, 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 please, please, please give me the love of my life. Right? Every single day. Why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? You're telling me a lot of the times you can sit. How many of you have sat there daydreaming before where somebody, your friend sat next to you? Hey, 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 hey. And it's, oh, sorry, what? Anybody had a moment like that before? So how many moments in a day do you think we spend not here now? Now that's a question for you. What percentage of the day would you, if you take a guess, just take a guess, what percentage of the day do you think you spend not here now? What do you think? Some people think 20%. I challenge you. I think way, way, way beyond that. 60, 70, you become conscious, you'll start knowing. The moment, some of you thinking now, do you know that while you're thinking now of what I asked before, you know you're not in the now? Do you know that? You get what I'm saying here? The moment you're trying to think, let me have a think. Yesterday I did, and that you're already not in the now. Then you're not listening to what I'm saying now already. You see? So if I was to say, like in reality, and I usually do this at a live event, I used to say, okay, how many of you are really, how much percent are you not here now? And people will be like, and then what I'll do, I'll pick out a $10 bill, and I'll say, hey, here's $10, who wants it? And then only like a very few people come and grab it. I'm saying, where was everybody else? Somewhere else. You missed the opportunity. Are you starting to get what I'm saying here? And that's the big problem. You are saying, universe, please give me whatever. Universe, please give me whatever. 80% of your day, you are not here. You are somewhere else. You're in your mind. So you don't see choices. You don't see choices. You don't have choices. You are stuck in mind. This guy is probably too busy thinking, I forgot to send those emails at work. Oh, tomorrow I still need to get on with this, that, the other. Man, when I go home, I need to speak to the wife about this, and I need to deal with the kids, and I need to deal with this, and probably pick them up from school, and whatever you have to do. So this is what's happening in this guy's mind. Every single thing, God can literally come down in that moment and say, hey, you tried to manifest money, here it is. And then in his mind, he's like thinking about something else. To raise your level of consciousness, your first step is to start living in now. Be focused in every moment. The moment your mind starts to drift, bring yourself back, open your eyes, and see now. Because opportunities only come in the now for you. When the universe is delivering your manifestation, you will only recognize it in the now. Okay? So that's number one. The second thing, okay, aside from just being in the now, that's only the first step. The second step is to raise your consciousness. So what am I talking about when I talk about raise your consciousness? Because a lot of people talk about awakening. What is awakening? What is spiritual awakening? What is consciousness? How do we deal with this, right? Actually, it's very simple. What we are saying is, imagine if, so I was this guy, I got out of the cab, and I get into the building. I get into the building, I come up to the top floor of the building, go up the elevator to the top floor of the building. Now, guess what? If I am here as opposed to I am here, right? Now, tell me something. What do I see? You see everything. Now, when you see everything, now guess what? This guy, if he took step one, live in the now, he has the choice to say, maybe I should buy this house, or maybe that house looks nice. Or if he was living in the now, he might say, I don't like the work here. I want to work for this company here. He can only base his choices, his goals on what they know. You see, how many of you on this call today, you have a goal, you have a dream, you have a goal? Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you have a dream, have a goal, and how many of you had a dream before, had a goal before? You managed to reach that goal, you got to that goal, just to find out that, actually, not sure I do want this anymore. Has anybody had that before? Right? Maybe it was like a relationship goal. This is the specification of the guy I'm trying to attract. And what happens is you get that guy, but it's missing all the other specification you missed out. How many of you know what I'm talking about, right? Right? So, or you have a specification, you say, okay, he needs to do this, or she needs to do this, she needs to do this. And then what happens is you get it, and it's kind of like, maybe this isn't what I want. Right? You guys have experienced something like that before, yes? Or maybe even a job, a career, same thing. You think that's what you want to do. Let me tell you something. Based on your track history before, think about how many times has it happened in relationships to you before? How many times has it happened in career to you before? Because based on your track history, I can determine your future. I can pretty much establish that the next time, you hit your goal, right, Nishma? Next time you hit your goal, what will happen is, it's very likely you'll get to the goal just to think, what next? What's the purpose of life? Let me tell you why, and I want you to write this down. I can only have a goal based on what I know. You can only have a goal based on what you know. Remember what we said just before? What you know is only this much. You can only have a goal based on what you know. Most people's goals, they live their whole life living somebody else's goals. Your parents told you, this is how a relationship should be. This is when you should get married. This is when you should have kids. This is what your career should be. Your friends, your society tells you, this is wrong, this is right. Suddenly, you take the whole picture of how people have conditioned to you, and then it becomes your goal. But it's not your goal. It's somebody else's goal. Because when you raise your consciousnness, you see that there is so much more to this world and so much more possibilities. Go, 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 go ahead, go.